Great, everyone. Here we are at the Sandhills Motoring Festival. Again, it's the premier concours of any kind here in North Carolina, and we're thrilled to be a sponsor here at Sandhills Motoring Festival. We got great weather today, and you know, it's always great. We always try to bring some really unique product here to Sandhills, and every year we bring something a little new, a little different, trying to be a little bit better than the year before. And this year we were so fortunate to be able to bring this Ferrari FXXK Evo, which is a client of ours here in Greensboro that's been so gracious and so kind to let us show this car off. This is the one and only time that this car will be seen in public in the United States. It goes back to Italy after this event, and it will remain there as part of the Ferrari FXXK program, and that will be going to different events around the world as part of that program, but it will not come back to the US until it's at a racetrack. So again, only at the Sandhills Motoring Festival is this car allowed to be seen, and it's right here. Let me take you a tour of the car. So the FXXK Evo, as this one is based off of the LaFerrari. And we've done a video on the LaFerrari street car, and this is sort of an experimental version of that Ferrari LaFerrari. So the major differences are we've got a little bit more horsepower from the naturally aspirated V12, 6.3 liter V12, so a little bit more power and a lot more power out of the KERS electric system that is very similar to what's on the LaFerrari. And here it's more an experimental, but the biggest difference in this car is the aerodynamics that you'll see. We have a lot of dive planes here on the car itself, a lot of aerodynamics, very tailored for the track. This car is extremely fast on the track. This produces just over 1,100 horsepower, almost 1,200 with both the electric and the naturally aspirated V12, so very capable on the track. These cars are only track legal, they're not street legal at all. The LaFerrari is a street legal version, FXXK Evo is only for the track. This is actually one of 6 cars that were built by the Ferrari factory as an Evo car. All the other cars were updated to Evo. They were older cars that were updated. This is one of 6. It is the only one in the world that has a unique color combination as this. This has a 4-color combination. You have the dark gray here, you have the silver, you have the yellow, the red stripe, and of course the black roof. Most cars came with either a gray, dark gray roof. This one has a black. And this is the only car in the world where the color, the stripe comes down and continues along here on the pillars that hold the diffusers and the front dive planes on the car. So this is the only one that has that in it as well. Let's take a look at the inside of the cockpit. All right, so here we are in the FXXK Evo. Again, it's based on the LaFerrari, so it's very similar on the inside of this car as a LaFerrari. The major differences are the steering wheel itself, and then we have this center console panel, which has everything that you would normally find on the LaFerrari, just in a different space. There's a heater, there's your AC, reverse, launch control, fire extinguisher, which is not on the LaFerrari there. But the main difference here is on the steering wheel itself. We have basically the Manettino, which is what you would normally find on a street Ferrari. The major difference with this car is the KERS system. This again is a KERS system that is based off of the Formula One technology of the day. You turn this to different modes. Qualifying mode is just that. It gives you full power for about 2 laps. Long range mode is about 80% of the power, but it is charging the batteries as you go. It really kind of charges the battery without overheating it. We go to manual mode, which gives you full power from the KERS system by pushing these buttons up here. Basically, it's a push to pass, if you will. You push and hold the button, that gives you a boost of the electric power. When you release the button, then the power goes away. And then the final stage that we have here is what we call fast charge, and this will charge up the KERS battery system in about a half a lap. So very quick charge there. You can't do this mode very often between qualifying and quick charge, mainly because you'll overheat the battery. So you do the qualifying mode for a couple of laps, get full power, and then go to long range and let the batteries cool down and let them charge up normally. So we're gonna give this thing a start and let everyone hear it. 6.3 liter, 12-cylinder fired up. The KERS system is fully charged. We're going some charge here, and we're warmed up. So we're gonna let this thing make some really beautiful sounds, and we'll give it a little blip. That was incredible. You can hear the sound of that 12-cylinder engine. And you know, this revs to about 9,000 RPM, and that was about 5,000 RPM. So a lot of RPMs left to make that incredible sound, and there's no better music than a 12-cylinder Ferrari. Another big feature of the FXXK Evo is just that, the aerodynamics. Much, much more aggressive than what you would find in the LaFerrari. You can see here with a twin element rear wing. We have the dive planes that happen here on this center spine, if you will, that goes back and connects to the wing itself. This car also does have active aero. So this piece here will move up and down based on the computer and the input of braking, turning, acceleration. This then moves at different things as the computer decides that you need that as extra downforce. The other big difference with this car versus the LaFerrari is this massive and aggressive diffuser. So if you take a look at this diffuser, it creates a massive amount of downforce with using the aerodynamics under the car to suck this down to the track as you're at speed. So again, this car, while it has 1,100 horsepower, is actually very easy to drive in the sense that it has so much downforce, and it's allowed the driver to put all that power down to the track in a very efficient and safe way. So thank you very much for joining us here, Foreign Cars Italia, at the Sandhills Motoring Festival, the premier Concours event, anything like this in North Carolina. So it's an awesome event. Again, it always happens on Memorial Day weekend, so join us next year. And what are we gonna do at Foreign Cars Italia to top off a LaFerrari FXXK Evo? Well, you have to follow our social media to know what we're gonna bring next year. And that's our YouTube channel, and then also our social media, and we'll give you a little teaser on what we're gonna bring next year.